If you've got your simple journal already made, you might want to add a little bit of extra space in there with pockets and tuck spots so that you can add journaling card pieces of artwork and things. It makes it a little bit more interesting because you've got things that you can pull out and it's got a little bit of movement to the journal. Now you can do that in various different ways. Just cut yourself some pieces of card and you can literally just stick them down to your pages if you like, adding a little bit of glue to 3 of the sides and leaving one side open, and that will then give you a pocket. But if you do that, it doesn't give you much room in there. You can put a couple of tags maybe, or a little bit of artwork, but there might not be a lot of space in there. So one of the things you can do to make them a little bit more capable of taking other items is to score around your pieces of card about 1 centimetre in, then fold it in and cut your corners off so that it makes a pocket with a little bit more room, so it doesn't fit completely flat to the page. And what you would do is just add your glue to your little tabs that you've cut out and stick it down with the glue on those tabs there, and that gives you a little bit more space for adding perhaps a couple more tags. So that's a nice way to add some pockets. You can also do that as corner pockets too. For example, that was the square that I cut in half, then scored 1 centimetre in, cut off my corners, then that makes a nice little pocket to pop in a corner. You can make them any size, shallow, and then you could get a couple on a page if you wanted to. Make them nice and slim. That would be nice if you wanted to add a bookmark or something like that. An alternative would be to add some belly bands. You can do that by just cutting strips of paper and sticking those onto a page with just a little bit of glue on each end, and that will then make a band that you can tuck items in. So that's a really nice simple way to add a bit of extra space as well. You could, if you wanted to, fold those ends over and that would make it a little bit fatter. For example, if you've got a notebook or something like that that you wanted to tuck under and you wanted a bit more space, you could do that. But a piece of card literally stuck each end like that makes a really nice belly band. Another alternative for adding extra space is to add an envelope. And you can do that when you construct the journal itself. So if you look back at that, I did add an envelope to one of my middle pages on one of the journals that I made. You could also add them by doing the same thing, but just in between the pages. Or if you've not done that and you want to add an envelope later on, you can decorate your envelope and stick it down on a page, for example, that way. You can stick your flap down on one page and then that in itself becomes like a moving pocket. You can slip things in there. Of course, you could just seal your envelope up and cut the top off and stick it down on your page like that. And if you seal it down with just 3 edges, you can then make yourself a double pocket because you'd have the back and you'd also have the inside of the envelope as well. So there are just a few ideas for adding some tuck spots, pockets and envelopes into your simple journal.